Hi you guys, it's Stephanie with Coffee Paper Scissors. I had a request from one of my subbies to talk about how I choose papers to go in my signatures. So I thought I would show a little bit of the process. It's not for sure when I put something in my signatures, I kind of look to see how it looks and I leave it or I take it out. It just depends as the journal, comes about. But what I do when I first start, like for instance, on this one, I purchased this digital. And so there were so many pages in the digital, 30, I think it was. Of course, I think maybe 7 of them were, things like this. But the actual pages, I decided to separate them out. And I think it ended up being like 11 in one and 12 in the other, or something like that. I don't remember. But when I have a digital, then I go through them and I just kind of put things in an order that I think looks fine. So then, and on this one, I put the center with the image, filling up the center. So then that gives me pages here that are coffee dyed on both sides, and so I have to do something there. So the way I put pages together will lead me to choose the pages that I put next. I don't know if that makes sense, but I try to have like a place to write and then a decorative page, and then a place to write one or the other and a decorative page. And then sometimes on the decorative page, you can still write, or I put a tag or a journaling card or something so that, there's every page you go to, you can write on it. So that's my thinking as far as that goes. This particular signature, and again, I put the decorative one right in the middle. You don't have to. It's just because a lot of times I'm like, oh gosh, now I have to deal with an entire blank page. Well, that's the same thing I have to deal with right here. So I could switch it, and make it like this. And then I would have to deal with a blank page here. And I might, I don't know. And that's just another thing, is that I start out with a plan, but it always evolves. Okay, so there are the digitals for this particular one. And so then what I do from there is I look around in my craft room at my piles of papers that I've collected from different places. I actually just bought some gift wrap at the thrift store the other day, and it happened to be sort of a Victorian floral hearts, and I thought it kind of went. So I took a page or a piece of that and cut it down. In going through my junk, I found some pieces of scrapbook paper that I had gotten from when I did the prescription or subscription for my paper studio. And I found those. So I had to go through my things. And this is how I store some things like that. When I have random stuff, I have drawers, these little plastic drawers, and I just have things in them. And I go through and I look and I think, well, is that gonna go in my journal? And I'll pull things out and I'll say, okay, I'm gonna add that, I'm gonna add that. And I just kind of go through all this stuff. And some things are just, I know, not going to go whatsoever. And so when I went through, I think I have two drawers of things just like this. So I made a pile of, Stephanie, you are going to put this in the journal. And so that we're going to, stick in there. Let me get this drawer out of the way. And then I have in my closet, I have stacks of other types of paper, and so I'll look through it and decide whether or not they might go. And I've shown this before, but I bought this book at a thrift store, the Lifetime Family Record book, and inside it has these cool pages. And so sometimes I will take these out and add, but I don't know. I didn't really think that they went with this journal, so I did not choose any of those. But that doesn't mean I won't. I have things like this, and I will back things, you know, with it, or I might add a page. I have some old music paper. Some of it's actually written on. Isn't that kind of cute? But I'll put this in as a page. More, let's see, more just writing paper. This has pink lines on it. And then just things. I don't personally think this will go, so that won't go in. But actually this might, because it's got some little reddish in it. And I hadn't seen that when I went through. So there's those. I just keep a pile. Those are some old calendar pages. Here's another page of notebook paper. I have colored notebook paper, but it's not the right color. I found a stack of music paper, not written on, at a yard sale one time, so that's cool. So ledger paper. And I have a hard time putting ledger paper in journals and leaving it there. I do not know why, but I just cannot leave it in. I didn't find this when I went through this time, but I might put some of this in. I'm not sure. I found this at an estate sale one time. It's really pretty. So I might put some of that in. So that's how I go about finding things. You know, I find them at the thrift store, I bring it home, and I have just this large pile. So this particular pile is big, and I'm going to get that out of the way. I just thought I'd bring it over and show it to you. And then I also have books. And so I showed you these books that I'm going through. Now on this one, I am just cutting things out. The pages are kind of too big and not quite what I'm wanting. You know, this would be pretty in it, but I'm not sure that I want, you know, like if I take the book apart, I'm not sure what's on the other side, if I would even want that in the journal. And then I would have to fold, and then it would end up covering up. But sometimes these are just the perfect size. And actually, that would be really pretty. I could take that out. You know, I don't know. Or I could cut it out and use it to make a journaling card out of it. Anyway, sometimes I'll take full pages of illustrated books and add them in. So I thought we would go through and add. And so you can just see kind of what I think about when I do this. Oh, I also go through scrapbook paper that I have and see what I think might go. So some of the things I found in my scrapbook paper, I found this. I already used a piece of this the other day. I have some coffee dyed paper, some vellum, this scrapbook paper. You've seen me use the rose paper. And then that I used in the last video. So that is how I start. I just make a pile of things. And this particular pile, I was like, Stephanie, doggone it, use it. Because it sits there and it doesn't get used. All right, and I need to kind of move some things out of the way so I can spread out and do some work here. Okay, so we're going to start on this first signature, and I don't know if they'll stay, whoops, I don't know if they will stay in that particular order. It just kind of depends on where it leads me as I go. So I start looking through, and I'm looking at the other journal that I already put together so I can go through this a little bit more quickly. That one accidentally has a fold in it. So I like to have things, you know, like this, the little circles where it used to be attached to a spiral thing. I like to have that showing. And a lot of times then after I put the pages in, I will go back and ink them later or sew on them or add embellishments, you know, things like that. Where did I put, oh shoot, I hope I didn't, oh, here they are. I have this little, so I had used this bag in another journal, and so I decided to just put it in this journal and cover it with some of this paper. So I look at it and I think, oh, what goes good here? Floral and floral? I don't know, maybe. Typewriter and floral? I don't know. And then this one. And then I go, oh, okay, I think I like this one. So I'm going to fold this one in half and add it. And I love layers, so I really like to see things sticking out. It would be nice, you know, like if this is up a little bit and then there was another piece sticking out like a little bit longer right here. I think that's visually pleasing. That's how I do it anyway. So then right here, I'm thinking I want to use more of this paper because it's been sitting there and I will forget about it. And I think it goes nicely in this journal. I will probably cut this out and go ahead and add it. And so sometimes, again, when I'm doing this, I don't adhere things right away. I temporarily put it in. And then if I like it, once I've got all my pages put together, then I'll make the commitment. And this could, again, be very well why these journals take me so long. I made a mark. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So now I have this left and, you know, scraps. Oh boy. But that's okay. And so then I normally, for now, I just clip it on and then I'll think, okay, that works. And then in the other journal, I just attached here so that it's not a full pocket. And then I move on to the next one. Oh, you know what I did in the last one? I took this piece that I cut off and I attached it right here along with, oh man, I've got stuff everywhere. I know I say that all the time, but I'm having to move my paper punches out of the way. I take, and you know, like I can, this is what I did in the last one. I did a little bit of a, I don't want to cover that up, so maybe I won't. There's a circular one in here. And there's already butterflies on it, so I don't know that it needs a butterfly, but let's see, where are the butterflies? I might do something like that and then attach it so it's a tuck spot there. So again, I'll take and clip it and then we'll see if it ends up, you know, being that in the end or not. Okay, so then I have this night letter. Again, it's really old. And when I fold it, it just breaks. But I want to use it. I've had them in my stash for so long. And so what I did on the last one was I backed it with one of these notebook pages that I have now played with, and they're somewhere in my stack. Here it is. That's a little torn, but it fits. So let me move this stuff out of the way. And we're gonna glue it down. And when I do this one, because it's so fragile, I'm putting glue everywhere with the Fabri-Tac. especially where I'm gonna fold it. I really want that to stay. It's kind of a lot of Fabri-Tac, but I only do it like I think 2 times in the journal, so it doesn't use it all up. I think it's fine. Smooth it out a bit. I'm trying not to squish it out of the edge. Just want it all the way to the edge. And then I cut it out. Usually when I do this, I cut it out with scissors. Just, I don't know why, just because it's hard sometimes to line up things perfectly on the cutting board. Okay, I mean, I didn't do a perfect job of cutting, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. We're gonna let that sit for just a minute. And then I have, in the journal that I've been working on already with you guys, I have a piece of that rose paper, and I know I have more. Where did I put it? I thought I had a whole nother sheet. I do. Okay, so I have my rose paper, and we did do this together before, but we'll do it again. So I just want to be able to see it all around here. So we're gonna go, and of course we want it to fit within our page, and I know that that will, so we're just gonna do that. Extra out of the way. And if you remember on the last one, I used my paper punch to give it a decorative I'll just show you. I did that with it with the paper punch. So we're not going to do that right now because, you know, you've already seen that, but we're going to poke this in. And so this is where I'll fold it over. But I'm going to wait and fold it until I've done my punch. That way I have a better idea of exactly where my fold ends up, you know, when I fold it over. So now we can do that and see the how it just cracks right open there. But it's fine because I've glued it down onto paper that isn't going to crack. So we'll put that in like that, and I'll go back in a little bit after we're done here with the video and do the punches. I also have over in here, I have these envelopes, and I said in that video, I was like, oh, I should show you the info, and I might have in another video, but I don't remember for sure. Let me see. Sorry, you guys. I hope you don't mind. Okay. It is... It's really hard to see. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't see it. Something Rose Garden Note Sets. Oh, Carol Wilson's Fine Arts, Inc. There's no website or anything, but that is where those come from. If you're interested, maybe you can just look up Carol Wilson Fine Arts and find, but they're really pretty. So now on this particular one, if you remember, it doesn't really fit. It hits the inside of the signature. So I just cut it down by a little bit, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And then I glue it closed. Put a little glue here. Okay, and now that hangs over there. On this page, I took one of the things I had fussy cut out, and I don't have anything right now that will work for that, but this is where I added that tuck from the scraps that I had cut from the book. And then I just took this image and backed it and put some lace on it. Anyway, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have an image. So that's something I'm just going to have to come back to. Center of this signature, I currently don't have anything else going on there. And I may or I may not. I don't know. So then this will be folded over. Do I have anything else over there? No. Okay, and then right here, I took this and I backed it. I think I need to grab another piece of paper. You see, this is why I don't do these sorts of videos with you guys very often, because it's terrible to get up and have to walk away from my desk all the time. Okay, so I took this and just glued it down, leaving about 1/2 inch. And I just kind of put glue in the biggest places. It should be fine. It's going to be a flip out. And it's reinforced with paper behind it, so I don't think it's much of a problem. So I hope you guys don't mind this sort of a video. It's not like, a new thing, showing you a new idea or anything. It's just kind of what I do when I'm choosing papers. And then I just kind of roughly, go around it. Maybe I can tell a story while we're waiting. Let's see. My daughter, I've told you guys before, I'm sure, she's a senior this year, and she has senioritis. She has had senioritis, I don't know, since kindergarten, honestly. She's never really enjoyed going to school, although she's very good at it. So she has been working on, they do the final senior project where they have to do their presentation. And I'm thinking that was something that was nationally done for a while. They had to do this huge exit interview when leaving high school and this giant presentation about how they're going to rule the world when they're done. And they finished, or like many schools quit doing that. I remember when my sister's kids were doing it, it was still required, but it's not required in their school districts anymore, but they still do it here. My son didn't really have to do his presentation because it was the year COVID closed schools down, so he actually missed out on the last, 5 months of his senior year. But my daughter is having to do it, and she's actually, I think she had to turn it in either yesterday or today, and then they do their presentation sometime in like April or something like that. Anyway, she brought home a copy of her transcripts. Oh my goodness, she's so smart, you guys. It's all A's. Like, there's all A's on her transcripts. I'm like, whose child are you? I did not get A's. And you know what's really funny is that my husband is like, yeah, she gets that from me. I was really smart in school, right? And so I'm like, well, maybe, because I wasn't like a terrible student, but I definitely wasn't straight A's. Okay, so then I took this, and I'm not going to decorate it, but I just glued it as a flap down. It also still needs to be inked. And then I decorated a little bit. So it's just a little bit of a decoration on the page. And then once I decorate it more, it'll be prettier, and then it flips out. Also, when you have things like this, they do hold things pretty well. So, you know, something can be kind of tucked behind it, and it usually doesn't have any trouble staying. I'm going to paper clip that in. So, so yeah, my daughter was, you know, she brought her transcripts home, a copy. I was like, wow, that's impressive. And but now she's currently so lazy about it all. I'm like, you're gonna ruin your perfect, you know, record. And she doesn't really seem to care. I don't know if she will or won't, but we'll see. But what's funny is that, so that's the first signature. And you guys, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Oh, try not to. So what's funny is my husband brought home a box that was at his sister's house of things that had been kept by his parents. And some of his high school report cards were in there. Yeah, he was not a straight A student either. So all this time he's been bragging about how smart he was. Not so much. I mean, but see, I do not think an A or a C or whatever is necessarily an indication of how smart you are. And I'm not just saying that. I totally believe that. I never thought I was an idiot. I just didn't particularly do well on tests. Okay, so in this other one, right here, I added this cute little tuck with a Rolodex card. So instead of doing that necessarily all the way with you guys, I'm just going to say, okay, I can add that to that. And then one of these little things is what I added. So yeah, my husband can't walk around comparing himself to her anymore. He was like, oh, I'm like, how could you have such a wrong memory about that? Okay, and then here I put in a page of wrapping paper. And also, where did I put it? Oh, I don't know that I have another piece right here. Here I am getting up again because I know right where it is. I just have to get it. Okay, so I have this, again, it's kind of like, it's resume paper type paper, but I don't know if that's necessarily what it was used for because of the color. Not exactly professional. So I want it to be layered. So I'm going to mark where I'm going to cut it. The layered look anyway, not layered, but layered look. Okay, and then I have this paper punch. It's like a little zigzag look with little tiny hearts. And I put this one is actually kind of hard to line up. Those little, the colors are, I don't know. I'm doing a little better. I think the last time I did it was in the evening and the lighting was a lot worse for me. I'll go ahead and punch these. And then I'm gonna fold it. This gives such tiny little scrap. Oh, anyway, I'll hold that close. Isn't that cute? So I want to get an idea of where I want it to sit before I cut and do the next. Maybe just a little bit further on than that. We'll try this. So, can you guys see why it takes me so long? I know I watch a lot of other people, and it's like their papers are perfect right when they put them in their journals, and I feel like I have to do so much to my pages to make them look right. I don't know if it's just me being too critical of myself or what, but so on this paper I will take it and spray it a little bit. I have a little bit of coffee in a spray bottle, and as I find a paper that I think, you know, needs to be added, I'll just spray that particular one and let it dry. So there's that. So cute. Okay, so then that would go there. And then this, I'm going to choose which, I like this flower. I like this flower. I don't know. I feel like I like this better. So then I'm going to cut this right around here. And maybe I can use that on something, somewhere. Yeah, that would be cute if I add some paper. It'd be cute to stick down in something. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. So then that will go like that. Now on the other one, I added this heart trim, and you see how it's like goes along with this. I love those kinds of details. So there's that. Get that back where it goes. But I will do that. Hopefully I have enough of the heart trim left. This was trim that was found at, I believe, Hobby Lobby, but it's been a long time ago. So I don't know if it's still there or not. What's next? Okay, so on the next page, I had, okay, another one of those. Let's see, what do I have here? I ended up not, because there's blue and I just couldn't make it work. So I have this Western Union, again, really old, and it's going to do the same thing when I fold it. So I don't want to fold it right now because you already watched me do that. I have another piece of something here. And these little things I just found at thrift stores. So this one will go here, and this one will go like, you know, like this. But I need to back it, and I don't want to do that right this minute. And this one, so this is what it looks like in this one. And I have a little just kind of tuck spot over here. I don't have anything fussy cut out right now to do this, so I'm not going to do it right this minute. But I can put in the little flip up if I can find my heart paper or my rose paper. So I have this rose paper. So I'm just gonna move this. I will probably, well, I can't necessarily paper clip it because it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna do a flip up here. And I'm going to use another paper punch. This one is this particular one. Again, I always find them at thrift stores. So this one was either a yard sale or thrift store. So I'm just lining it up as best as I can. This, sorry, is going to wiggle probably quite a bit. Okay. So that just gives it a really pretty little edge down here. So then I take it over here, decide where I want to fold over, right about here maybe. That was not a good fold. So then, you know, there are things you can do. You can leave it so that there's, like at first when I did it, I thought, well, I'm going to fold this up again like this and make it a pocket. But then I thought, no, I really just wanted, I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I went ahead and cut it off and left the whole space for journaling. Let me look. Yep, that's what I did. So I'm just going to take and cut it right around like 1/2 inch or so. So now I've got that scrap to use. So then this will glue down and flip up like this. And I'm going to ink it and add some stitching to it, but just not right now. So that will go there. And I will do this other stuff on my own. Oh, the center. So in the center, on the other one, I took this and sewed it around so it's has a really big long pocket. And I don't know, I mean, I like it. So it looks like this. I mean, it's not like you can write on the page or anything like that. So it could be on either side. So I will probably do the same thing. Again, I'm going to paper clip this in. And this really is the way I work. So it kind of gives me an idea as I'm flipping through and using things. Do they end up where I really want them to end up? So here, big open space, right? So I took a cutout and just, so this is where I sewed it, and you can see the stitching. And then I just glued something that I fussy cut from one of those books out and added that. And then this over here is the back side of that Western Union that I will do on my own. So that's, I'll probably do something similar to that here. Right here, I have an envelope, and what I did with this was like a cardstock doily type thing. It's not a doily, but linens of some sort. And I decorated it. I, inked it up a little bit and decorated it and sewed it. So I took this and attached it to that flap, and I took it and sewed it right here. And I would totally do that with you right now, but my sewing machine's back behind me, so that when it's all closed and everything, it'll look like that. So this can be another tuck spot. So I'm going to paper clip this here, and then I'll show it to you again in the one I've already done. Okay, so it flips out. Inside I have one of these Tim Holtz images, and I just added a couple of little punched out hearts and sewed around it. And then I chose an image according to what would show through. So there's a couple of girls there, and then I just, put some stamps on it. So when I sewed it from this side. I had to hold it open, and I sewed like this. So then when it's closed, this is a flap. When you turn the page, you have a tuck spot, which I, haven't put anything in there yet, but it'll be a tuck spot for something. So that will go there. This will have that trim on it, so it holds it down nicely when you turn the page. Oh no, I got glue stuck to it. And then currently I don't have anything going on this page, so we're gonna call that one good and get it up out of our way. I have these, and I thought I might collage on them and use them as just an insert. I don't know. Right now I just have them kind of in between my journal pages. So I have L for love and V for Valentine. So that will go there. How much time have I spent? 43 minutes. I don't know that I should do anymore. Let's see. This is the one I did with you guys yesterday, so I will do the same thing. And then also the next one would be the envelopes that I did with you guys. And I would have done that right here. Oh, okay, so let me grab those envelopes really quickly. Oh my gosh, I don't know where they are for sure. Oh, here they are. Okay, so these ones would be this envelope that we did together. I will do that here, so they'll be on either side. But before that, I have, well, no, not before, after. I have this really big, I cut and used the bottom of it. And then this one, we're going to use on this next page to make a, like a bag pocket. Like this. So I am going to, for now, just leave it. So what I will have to do is cut this and close it so that it ends up being the right size. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you in the other one. So that will be the envelope page and then a bag page. So the envelope page and a bag page. I still need to cut a little thing to make it easier to get into, but I sewed around it and there, it's a bag. So that will be that. And then on the inside of this one, you guys, I might stop because there's just so much. I think that what I'll do is I'll stop there and then do all of the things that, you know, I have waiting for me to glue and sew. And then maybe I'll do another video showing the rest of it using up these things. I don't think I used that, but I still have these things to use. And I really want to get them in there so that they're, you know, using your stash. Anyway, I hope you guys got something from this. And we'll see if I do more. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.